Today we're, I say we're asking the question, we're looking at the question of are we in a simulation? And it was based off Nick Bostrom's paper looking at the idea of the probability of some other alien civilization being able to make a simulation indistinguishable from reality. And therefore, I'm probably making thousands, millions of those simulations, which would mean us being in the real universe would be quite a small chance. I think what I worked out here was it's 1 in a billion around that. That's the general consensus, about 1 in a billion.
Chance that we are the real.
That we are in the real. Yeah, 1 in a billion that we're in the real universe. And just talking about would that matter? Would that affect anything? Would we be able to get out? What kind of evidence would we be looking for to find out if this is true? And would that ever be possible to find out if it's true? And it's very although it's very physics in base, it does become very philosophical just by how many assumptions you've got to make and how many guesses, and go use your imagination a bit and think about it. But me personally, I think it's very likely, and also does not. That would not change my world in general.
Yeah, what we also talked about, which I found quite interesting, was the amount of processing power which would be necessary to run such a simulation, and the kind of assumptions we made about life outside the simulation, if we're part of it, or if we're pretty much beings from a higher dimension or something, just living in a simulation, or if we're just part of. If it shuts off, do we die, or do we suddenly get thrown out? Yeah.
Another interesting point that was made is basically that if we are really in a simulation, what's the purpose of it? Meaning, for example, there's like this bigger civilization to study how long would it take just to life sort of span somewhere, and how long would that life do to develop and be able to travel from one galaxy to another, let's say. And if that's the case, that if we do really live in a simulation, then obviously when we reach that point, everything just would kind of end.
Yeah, I was going to make that point.
Singularity.
That.
That's just what covered.
Yeah. Can you?
Oh yeah.
Actually,
quick.
So the interesting point that I thought was one possible way of seeing if we are in a simulation would be to check if there's any sort of boundaries to our observable universe, which might be an indication that we are living in a simulation. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting, I have forgotten now. So
No problem. Everybody else say hi.
Come back. But just a quick. Okay.
There you go. See ya. Bye.